Yo peoples, welcome back to part 4 of Final Fantasy X, where we continue to socialize with our newest party member Wakka, while the plot thickens even more.
This is where I was born. I started Blitz when I was 5. I joined the Aurochs at 13, 10 years ago. 10 years, and we never won a game. Well, after last year's tournament, I quit. Time seemed right.
10 years is actually a big reoccurring aspect in this game, but maybe that's intended since it is the 10th entry in the Final Fantasy series. Just something interesting and a bit ironic I find about certain plot points in the game.
So, after quitting, I got this new job, yeah? But every time my mind wandered, I thought about the game.
10 years without a single win will do that.
Oh, the shame.
My first match last year was my big chance. But something else was on my mind. I couldn't focus.
Nice excuse.
Hey!
He must have been having a YOLO moment.
So, you want to win the next tournament. Go out with a bang.
Okay, here's the plan. During halftime, we start mooning the audience.
So, what's our goal?
I don't care how we do. As long as we play our best.
And now we know why they lost all these years.
If we give it our all, I can walk away happy.
Boring!
No. If I say, what's our goal? You say, victory! When you play in a blitzball tournament, you play to win.
You don't say.
Victory? You're serious?
You gotta love how Wakka's like, victory? That's a thing? Blasphemy. Before we move on ahead, I want to save really quickly and show you another small piece of dialogue if you decide to interact with that memorial-looking thing we saw very briefly in the previous area. So this thing right here.
It's an ancient custom. People leaving the island pray here for a safe trip. They say it works pretty good.
Seems legit. Thank you, tour guide Wakka. Alright, from here on out, I'm gonna start making multiple save files for reasons you'll see later. It's always helpful in any JRPG to have a couple. However, I don't go over the max of 7 because then I just start to get confused. I actually know people who do like 20 to 40 separate save files for one game playthrough, which is crazy if you ask me, but who am I to judge? Just do whatever makes you feel secure. Also, if you try to head back that way we just came, you'll get a lovely growl from Tidus' stomach. But like I said before, that was a one-shot deal. Now here's what I like to do when you got party members following you. Randomly run in circles. Where the ball, Wakka? I always get a kick from doing that, especially in Final Fantasy VIII, though it's even more hilarious in that game.
Ah, the one from the sea.
Be on guard. There are fiends on the road today.
After surviving your run-in with Sin, it would be a shame if something happened now.
Can somebody please give the man a hamburger?
Who are they?
Luzzu and Gatta, Crusaders.
Huh? Crews of what?
What, you forgot that too?
Don't!
Hey, sorry. Don't worry about it. I'll help you out.
Swag like Caillou.
Cool. In return, come tournament time, I'll make sure we take the cup.
Cool. About the Crusaders, you can ask them yourself. They got a lodge in the village.
And we most certainly will be talking to them very soon, since we're approaching our first village in the game. A pretty small one as well, but there's definitely a few pit stops we have to make here and there. The most important being the fact that Tidus needs to freaking eat already. If he even makes it till then. Losing strength. Need food. Preferably Chinese.
Besaid village.
They got any food there?
We'll get you something over there later. Take a look around first.
Later? Wakka, do you not see my condition here?
Let's see. The Crusaders' lodge is over yonder. Luzzu and Gatta are usually there.
Well, unless it's a Pizza Hut, I couldn't care less right now. Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right.
Gotta love this village music, though.
Over here.
Huh? What's up?
You do remember the prayer, right?
Oh snap, we're playing Infamous now. Okay, so which one's the good karma, and what's the evil karma choice? The first one would probably piss him off less, so let's choose that one.
I didn't know it in the first place, to tell the truth.
Man, that's like the basics of the basics. All right, I'll show you.
For all we know, this one option we chose will determine if Wakka dies later in the game or not. I'm sorry, Wakka. And wow, that looks familiar.
Go ahead, you try.
Wasn't with that chick we know that much. Anywho, take two of Tidus. And the way he does it makes it look like he's about to do a Kamehameha. Seriously. But he definitely doesn't have enough power stored in his body to pull it off.
Hey, not bad.
Kamehameha!
Okay, now, go present yourself to the temple summoner.
Any blitzball player would know that prayer. It was the blitzball sign for victory.
Yes, Tidus. Eye of the Tiger meets Hadouken. That's what it's all about. Alright, before we can eat, it's time to get busy. Hey guys, I'm gonna pull an Emperor's New Groove and pause the playthrough for a few seconds to clarify on something. Throughout the course of Final Fantasy X, we'll be meeting a variety of people on our quest, but when there's an opportunity or choice like the one Wakka gave us, depending on what you choose, it can actually change the outcome of some cutscenes and character interactions you see in the game. Now don't get me wrong, this won't change the game's ending or anything like that you would see in games similar to Infamous, Mass Effect, or even Catherine. But without a doubt, it's definitely something cool thrown into the game, and just because I personally find it interesting, I'm going to showcase all the different outcomes you can get with said choices. So let's see what happens when we choose a second choice with Wakka.
Of course I'd never prayed before in my life. Not that he would know that.
You must have forgot or something. Here, I'll show you.
So even small choices like that can affect your relationships with certain party members. Most Final Fantasy X players refer to this as affection mechanics, but now I'm getting way ahead of myself. I'll explain more how this works in the next part, so sorry for the hold up guys, just know that I'm going to be showcasing the various types of cutscenes in the game. So back to the playthrough. Alright, so in typical RPG fashion, let's scout the village by randomly barging into people's houses without invitation, while at the same time breaking all their pots to find their hidden stash of rupees. Oh wait, wrong game. But to be honest, that really isn't too far from the truth, since we are still trying to find chests that thankfully some fools just leave inside their houses without even some sort of lock to keep their valuables safe. You know, the least you could do is get a key for it and throw it away to a land far, far away. And the only way to obtain it later on would be to complete an annoying side quest / minigame later in the game. But that's definitely not going to happen in this game, right? But who would go to all that trouble just to protect a single potion? No, come back here, you crazy kids! Dang it, just missed them. So what does this chick want? Oh yeah, buddy, our first shop in the game. But no weapons currently, just your basic items. However, I'm not here to buy, oh no. Remember all those potions I grinded for back on the El Bed ship? Well, now it's time to auction them off eBay, and we be rolling in some gil, baby. So I'm just gonna keep 2 potions to be safe. Why 2? Because like the nostalgia critic, I like to go one step beyond. Even though I should have kept like 9 more potions to fully complete the reference. But screw it, I have no regrets. Waka waka waka.
Go present yourself to the temple summoner before we eat, yeah?
Oh, Waka, baby, you're killing me here. How about we forget waiting for some mystery stew, and instead we order some pizza and just leave it under Wakka's tab. Because I sure don't have any money lying around for that. But anyways, to go back to the subject of potions, you shouldn't worry too much about it, because we're kind of approaching another grinding spot for it. Not to the extent of the El Bed ship, but something small. And also for another reason, you'll see why later. So another thing I want to mention regarding Tidus' current inventory is that whatever you do not sell Tidus' current sword he's been using so far, which is called the Long Sword. While it's not needed for any trophies in the game, it is needed for what us RPG completionists refer to as the perfect game save file. The reason why it's essential to have is because if you sell it after a certain point in the game, it can never be regained ever again. Unlike with pretty much every other weapon or item, the longsword is one that you can't. You know, it's obviously the crappiest sword in the game since it's your starter up, but at least it's stylish, and it is a gift from your old man, so it would be kinda mean, I guess. Besides, you can't get peanuts for selling it anyways, so always just keep it in your inventory, plain and simple. Don't bother selling it. And ho ho ho, see that on the floor? It's kinda hard to see since big boy Luzzu is blocking it. However, it is indeed another El Bed primer. Make sure to pick it up. 2 down, 24 more to go. So that monitor over there looks extremely similar to the one Tidus was pounding on in the last part. But basically, it's just a tutorial guide for anything in the game. It also has VR simulations, which is pretty cool.
Hey, you! You were attacked by Sin, right? Recently, was it?
I think so.
So, Sin can't be far, right? You're not hiding anything, are you?
Why would I?
If Sin's nearby, it'll attack the island for sure. But it hasn't. I wonder why.
Back cramps.
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything. To tell the truth, I don't even know what the Crusaders are.
Dun dun dun.
You're kidding, right?
Sin, the toxin. Gotta tell him who we are.
Yes, sir! The Crusaders are sworn to battle Sin. We have chapters throughout Spira, accepting all who wish to join our struggle. The hero Mihen formed the Crusaders 800 years ago as the Crimson Blades. Later, our ranks grew and we called ourselves the Crusaders. We've been fighting Sin ever since.
What? You've been fighting 800 years and you still haven't beat it?
Go!
Well, we've steered Sin away from towns many times. And that's all we can do. Nobody's ever been able to defeat it. Our mission as Crusaders is to protect the temples, towns, villages, and people of Spira.
So, then whose job is it to defeat Sin?
Is Sin's toxin really this bad, sir?
It does seem rather bad. We could just tell you, but I think it better for you to try and remember. Go pray at the temple. Perhaps Yevon will help you regain your memory.
Man, you gotta love that Sin's toxin. That's one hell of a drug.
But soon, we may be able to finally defeat Sin. We've got a plan, one that'll go down in Crusader history.
What, you gonna shoot an arrow to its knee?
We've been excommunicated from Yevon. We must go, now. Everything is riding on our last battle.
Boy Scouts going rogue, huh? Okay, so we're done in this village for now. Let's head on to the temple, and while I do, I might as well talk about something that this game has small undertones to. Actually, not small, it's actually quite obvious, and that's religion. Now, without a doubt, Final Fantasy X wasn't the first game in the series to have a lot of religious symbolism. You know, I didn't have to watch an episode of Game Theory to know that. I could say pretty much every game in the whole series has some form of references to it at one point or another. However, I would agree that Final Fantasy X has the most of these religious references in comparison to any other Final Fantasy currently out there. There's definitely a good reason for that though, because it does play an essential role when it comes to things like a character's motives. And for me personally, I love seeing stuff like this in video game storytelling.
It was then, standing in that place.
You know, for example, this temple shares a lot of resemblances to that of a Catholic church. And no, I'm not saying that this is an exact representation of it, as I've been to a lot of them growing up. You know, I'm not just saying that.
I began to realize how different this world was from my own.
It just gets the feeling and atmosphere so right. Like, I know not everyone's gonna like this kind of stuff. In fact, it might be a turnoff. But I just love how it's shown through Final Fantasy X's characters and just setting in general. Back then, it wasn't too common to see something like this in a video game. But that just made me get attracted to it even more. Like, even if the gameplay sucked ass at this point, I would still be motivated to play through the rest of the game. You know, Square had some balls for putting something like this in the game, and I commend them for that.
10 years have passed since Lord Braska became High Summoner. And finally, we receive a statue for our temple.
Like, it just gets you sucked in even more.
Well, what's a High Summoner?
Well, it's not the kind you're thinking of, Tidus. It doesn't involve cocaine or parties.
I got too close to Sin's, toxin.
Best excuse ever. Like, why were you late to work today? Oh, you know, Sin's toxin was kinda floating around in the air again today.
It was funny hearing myself make the same excuse over and over. Funny, and a little sad.
LOL.
The Summoners are practitioners of a sacred art, sworn to protect the people of Yevon. Only a chosen few become Summoners, who call forth entities of great power, the Aeons. The Aeons hear our prayers and come down to us. They are the blessing of Yevon.
Also, each of them have a completely different style in terms of fashion.
So what he meant
Was Fuzruda!
was that we should respect some kind of great men, or something like that, I figured.
Oh, well, you never know. I figured he might have been a huge Skyrim player back in the day. Anywho, time to explore this temple, even though I don't think there's any treasure chests here, but, you know, for the sake of exploration, let's do it. Also, you might have already noticed this already, but remember that previous area we were in? That big cathedral-looking place back in the ruins? It definitely looks a lot like this place over here. I wonder if there's a connection. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So if you try to go up this path, Mace Windu here stops you from going any further. Come on, man. What are you hiding in there? But apparently it's forbidden for someone like Tidus to enter. Dun dun dun. So nope, I was right, nothing to be found here. Definitely with this HD upgrade, it's going to be way easier to find treasure chests. Because there's some really dark areas in the game. And before, like in the PS2 version, I can barely make them out. Okay, let's just see what this guy wants and we'll get the heck out of this place. Oh wow, he's willing to give us a brief history lesson about Spira. Let's do it. Ah, but screw it. I don't feel like reading out loud today. There actually is one person in Spira that does give you vocal history lessons about Spira. But most people despise that person. Anyways, we already know what sin and sin's toxin is. It's one hell of a drug you can't get on the market. It's also the best excuse to use on your girlfriend. Like, honestly. Oh, our anniversary? Ooh, the sin's toxin. I can't remember it. As for the teaching of Yevon, which we already learned before, is pretty much the religion or guideline that the people of Spira follow in order to avoid a deadly fate or encounter with the monstrosity known as sin. And of course we already know what a high summoner is. It's just a normal summoner who's jacked up on marijuana. And I like how he calls Tidus Sonny. Shunny? What is he, the gopher from Winnie the Pooh? Anyways, thanks for the history lesson, Gramps. Not that we exactly needed it, because at this point in the game, we kind of already learned all the stuff he was talking about. So now that we got that off the to-do list, Waka better have some food on the table, or else he's completely dead to me. Waka, I'm home. You better have food.
Sorry, man. No time for lunch yet.
Say what?
Take a nap. You look bushed.
Waka, you're dead to me. Whatever bromance that we had established before is now forever lost. Can somebody get this kid a freaking Happy Meal? Oh wait, is that the pizza delivery boy?
You could at least go see how they are doing.
I guess not.
We can't interfere. It's a rule.
But it's been nearly...
Yeah, it's been nearly 1,000 years since I last had a decent freaking sandwich. And we all know what happens when Tidus doesn't have any food. It's time for strange, trippy flashback dreams. You know, usually it's the other way around, but Tidus is special.
But it's been nearly...
Back in Zanarkand, it seems.
It's been nearly a day already.
Perhaps you could go look for us.
People are searching for him now.
How much do you want to bet that that guy rides a bicycle?
Thank you.
And just by the clothing alone, I'm gonna assume that's Tidus' mother.
Who cares whether he comes back or not?
But he might die.
We all know who that is.
Fine, let him.
Do you?
Even lift.
Do you hate him so?
Because ain't no one got time to build snowmans.
But if he dies, you'll never be able to tell him how much you hate him.
Oh, well, Mom, I don't think he'd exactly want to stick around for that. That's just me, though. Obviously, the importance of showing us that flashback was to prove the fact that Tidus is, in fact, not a natural blonde.
Waka?
The gig is up, Tidus. No sin's toxin can cover that one up. In fact, he's more like a dirty blonde. Well, I guess that's what you get for playing blitzball all day. Anyways, where's Waka? He owes me some gil for making me wait this long for food. But on the topic of gil, I always found it to be the weirdest name for currency in any video game ever, personally. I mean, gil? I don't think of money when I think of gills. Anyways, Waka, you in here, boy? Waka, Waka, Waka. Oh, there he is.
Is something wrong?
The summoner hasn't returned from the trial.
Eh?
Well, apprentice summoner, really.
Huh?
There's a room in there called the Cloister of Trials. Beyond is where the apprentice summoner prays. If the prayer is heard, the apprentice becomes a fully fledged summoner. Remember?
Derp.
So someone is in there somewhere and they haven't come back out. Right, I got it.
A day's already gone by.
Is it particularly dangerous in there?
Sometimes, yes.
Dun dun dun.
Why don't you go in and help?
There's already guardians in there. Besides, it's forbidden.
Oh no, why are Tidus' YOLO senses tingling?
Hey, but what if something happens? What if the summoner dies?
The precepts must be obeyed.
Like I care.
Ooh, Mace Windu just got burned! But seriously, that's what I say when anyone brings up a console war. It ends the argument before it even starts. Like I care.
Maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all.
You think, Tidus? Because of you, now we're introduced to everyone's favorite part of this game, hands down, the Cloister of Trials, which essentially is a break from all the fighting and blitzballing to make you sit down and think for a change. Not that you don't have to do that in the main game already, but yes, these areas in the game are essentially huge puzzles that you have to beat in order to progress through the game. Completing them also unlocks something each time as well. So not a lot of people like these sections, but I kind of had a guilty pleasure for them. There's only one in the whole game, I'm not gonna lie. It had me stumped and frustrated to the point where I wanted to rage. But we'll get to that when we get to that. These first few are pretty easy to get by though. This one in particular is a cakewalk, for example. So in these trials you're given 3 types of spheres, but only 2 types are required to just get by. Those would be the glyph and temple specific spheres, which in this case would be the Besaid sphere. The third, however, is not required to beat the trials, but instead unlock the secret piece of treasure that's hidden in each trial, which of course we do want, since it's definitely worth going the extra mile for. And unfortunately, Tidus can only grab 1 sphere at a time, since we all know that he's a righty and can't hold anything in his left robotic hand for crap. Well, actually, I think that's armor on his left arm. It's something you don't really notice about his design the first time around, but it's a cool little touch to Tidus' character design, I guess. Anywho, just take that glyph sphere and stick it right there to gain access to the destruction sphere, but we're not quite ready to use that one just yet. So let's just touch the text on the wall here, which triggers the secret trapdoor to a new room. Gotta give props to the architecture that made this place. Best security system ever. And whoa, check out all the lights in this room. Is this the place where they do all the dubstep rave parties? Because I'm down to party, I just need to steal this Besaid sphere right here and... bye bye pretty lights. To think the Besaid sphere probably had the same amount of power as a double AA battery. And these slots might be the power outlets. Kinda makes you wonder how the previous people got past this section. But I guess it just resets itself each time to avoid people getting freebies. So don't go pushing that pedestal yet, because before we do that, we have to get the destruction sphere and put it in the outlet where we had the rave party. I wonder if a Besaid sphere can make the whole room light up like the 4th of July. What could a destruction sphere possibly do to add on to that? My body is ready. I remember this music used to creep me out when I was a kid. And oh my gosh, I'm going the wrong way. We have to insert it into the now dead rave party room. But I got a feeling... Oh wow, all that hype for that? 1 streak of purple light, that's pretty weak, bro. Son, I am disappointed. Or maybe not, because it opened a secret room. So this trial is pretty straightforward, but don't get too comfortable, because it's only just the beginning. Now let's go get the goods. The Rod of Wisdom, eh? Well, neither Tidus or Wakka use any rods as weapons. Unless Wakka forgot to tell me something in our past encounters. But that about wraps it up for this trial. All that's left here is to push it to the limit.
Hey! What's gotten into you?
Whoa, where did you come from, Wakka?
It's okay. Only summoners, apprentice summoners, and their guardians can enter here.
And how long were you watching?
It's a tradition. Very important.
So what about you?
I'm a sexy beast.
Me? I'm a guardian.
Also, I just noticed something about Wakka.
A guardian?
They reverted Wakka's face back to the original PlayStation 2 version. That's kind of weird. You know, after going all the trouble to give him a new face and all that.
Whoa! Ah!
Summoners go on a pilgrimage to pray at every temple in Spira. Guardians protect them.
Go figure.
The guardian's in there now. One of them's got a sure fuse, and who knows what the other's thinking.
Ooh, that sounds hot.
Well, now that we come this far,
Let's go back up.
might as well go all the way.
I just wanted to ride that elevator for once. Anyways, for doing this trial, you also get another trophy. However, we definitely won't be seeing another one pop up in a while. I assure you that much. Perfectly named The Right Thing.
What are you doing here? Didn't think we'd be able to handle it.
Oh snap.
No, it's It's just...
Is it hot in here, or is it just you, baby?
See, I told you she gets mad easy.
Don't worry, Wakka, it's probably that time of the month again. And check out that pussycat doll. Looks like something right from Avatar.
Is the summoner alright?
Wait, that was a chick, right?
Who are you?
The person you dream about every night, of course, baby. Anyways, I don't think we have to worry about the other person, though, because I don't think Tidus is a furry, which, thank God, I don't need bestiality in my Final Fantasy game. And what are we looking at over here? Is that door gonna pull an open sesame, or what? And can that be considered a boob shot? First ass shots, and now this? Square, you dirty-minded bastards. Anyways, let's finally see what's behind this door. Oh, whoa! What do we have here, fellas? Are you a high summoner? Cause I'd like to get high off you, baby. Dream Weaver, I believe you can get me through the night. And somebody catch her, you fools! Oh good, the Navi got her. Don't worry guys, it was all just a trust exercise. No need to be alarmed. And I think Tidus just had a boner right now. I swear, this could be like a freaking Victoria's Secret commercial right here. Like, look at this. You got the close-up on the face and the hair blowing in the wind.
I've done it. I have become a summoner.
Well, thanks for answering my question, honey. But did you see that? She had one green eye and one blue eye. That's when you know she's a keeper. Looks like Tidus hit the jackpot, baby. And I guess we know who gets the Rod of Wisdom now. Obviously, the gothic chick.
Man, was I surprised. And here I was thinking summoners were all old geezers.
Praise be to Yevon for that, buddy. I guess Tidus already forgot about this, but we still haven't eaten a freaking thing yet. I guess once you get an erection, that changes everything. Mace Windu is still pissed off at us, though. Let's just get out of this dark and gloomy temple. I saw the sun. I opened up my eyes. I saw the sun. It's such a stupid song, like really.
Over here!
Hold your blitz balls, Waka, I'm coming. And check it out, it's our Navi friend here. Looks like he'd rather be alone, though. I still see you.
What? Ow!
Wait till you see this.
I can't see anything.
Frickin' Waka's still trying to choke slam Tidus.
Ready?
What's going on over here? Is someone twerking again? Okay, thank God that's not the case. Because I swear if anyone ever does that in this game, somebody gonna get hurt. And here's the music that was actually playing during the title screen. Besides this cutscene, I'm trying to remember if it plays anywhere else in the game. I can't remember. There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going. There's no knowing where we're rowing or which way the river's flowing. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a hurricane a-blowing? Ow! Oh my gosh! You wanna know? Oh, you wanna know what just happened right now? I had the PS3 controller on my crotch, right? And when that thing came on screen, my controller started vibrating so violently to the point where it shook my jewels. Oh my gosh. And no, I'm not exposed right now. I just always put the controller down when viewing cutscenes so I don't skip it. But I wasn't expecting that. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. And the funny thing is, I was singing that freaking song from that movie, that sequence that scared me out as a kid. I'm telling you, that song is a jinx. Do not sing it out loud.
I had never seen anything like it in my life. Sure, it was a little scary, but still, I could feel a strange kind of gentleness coming from it.
I must have missed the gentle part then, Tidus. Oh my gosh, my balls are still tingling. Oh, anyways, we got our first summon in the game. However, I like to have fun with naming my Aeons. So did I ever tell you guys my favorite character on Sesame Street? Not only is it a reference to everyone's favorite preschool show, but it's also a compliment to his physical appearance. Talk about hitting two birds with one stone. Anyways, that'll be it for this part, guys. In the next part, we'll learn more tutorials and learn more about our lady friend. Toodles, guys. My nuts.